It's Tigs tonight.
Yes, it is. It is. Happy Thursday night, everybody. Welcome to Tigs tonight. Flying solo once again tonight to wrap up this week. And we've got another power half hour ready to go for you guys. So hope everybody is staying warm. It's a balmy 42 in Baton Rouge. It's starting to rain. 40-mile-an-hour winds are on the way. It's going to be a stormy night. Man, so close to having a snow event, icy event. I'm a weather geek. One of these nights we'll dive into all of that. If it was going to snow tonight, I promise you that's what we would have been talking about. But we're not going to get any snow, just rain, unfortunately, but a lot of snow, ice, well north of here and all over the country. So y'all stay warm. It's cold, pretty much cold everywhere. What is going on, Paul? It's a windy 28, he says. It's a windy 28. Okay, look, I thought there's definitely some new graphics and stuff happening with StreamYard tonight. That's interesting. I came into this studio. I've had all kinds of issues getting in here tonight. It's just my camera set, my camera, which is my phone, wouldn't let the USB thing plug in. It said it was wet. I'm like, it ain't wet. Whatever. It's who knows what's going on. So, and StreamYard's acting a little bit weird. It wouldn't be any fun if we didn't have something interesting happen whenever we do this and we go live. But anyhow, hope you guys are doing well. We're going to keep it to 30 minutes again tonight. There is a college football playoff game going on right now. I know that. I know a lot of people are watching that. I was watching that too. It was tied. It wasn't tied. It was 10 to 3. Penn State is up 10-3 at the half. The half was still going just a few minutes ago. It's almost should be in the third quarter now. Riley Leonard got hurt. Looks like they were doing concussion protocols on him, so we will see what happens in the second half. Of course, you guys that are listening to this on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you listen to your podcast, you know the result of that game. So we're not going to dive too much into that. However, we are going to talk about some football. I'm going to end the show talking about the NFL playoffs, give my thoughts on the Texas-Ohio State game. But first, last night, failed to mention this and really meant to at the very top of the show. Just it is a horrible, horrible situation that is unfolding out in California. So my thoughts and prayers, and that's not empty, that is true. I've been praying for those guys out there. There's so much, there's so much damage that has happened from these fires, and they're not contained in so many areas. And it's not immune to anybody. A lot of these are some of the some of the more affluent neighborhoods and stuff that are out there. It's some of the notable people that have lost homes: Sir Anthony Hopkins, Billy Crystal, Paris Hilton, Eugene Levy. These are just celebrities. John Goodman, Hunter Biden. So bad that he lost the $4 million rental home out there. And it is horrible. It is horrible. I don't wish that on anybody. And just a monster fire out there. I have a friend, big fan of the show, one of my best friends in life, who works and helps in these disaster situations. He's been in Hawaii. He's in California now. Most likely will be having to go and work and do some of this stuff too, insurance adjusting, stuff kind of like that. But terrible situation going on out there tonight. C. Foster with that great-looking Gator Millworks shirt. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The fine folks at Gator Millworks. If you haven't seen it, I put a video out today. They put a video out. I shared it on our Facebook page. Amazing little video of just what they can do. And the things that they can do at Gator Millworks are second to none. Just, it's unbelievable what all they can do with cabinets and just everything. We're going to have Chad will be on the show at some point in time. I'm going to go visit with him and get, there's a lot of plans. You'll be hearing more from Gator. Thanks for joining us, Chad. Appreciate you. But going back to the fireman, I saw this clip. I thought this was interesting from Joe Rogan. uh, back in July of 2024, talking about what a fireman had told him. And
student of yours, but I talked to a fireman once. This is one of the reasons it freaked me out. And he was telling me, he goes, dude, one day, he goes, it's just going to be the right wind and fire's going to start in the right place and it's going to burn through LA all the way to the ocean. And there's not a fucking thing we can do about it. I go, really? He goes, yeah, we just get lucky. He goes, we get lucky with the wind. He goes, but if the wind hits the wrong way, it's just going to burn straight through LA and there's not going to be a thing we can do about it. Because these fires are so big, dude. When they're talking about like thousands of acres that are burning simultaneously with like 40-mile-an-hour winds. And the wind's just blowing embers through the air, and those embers are landing on roofs, and those houses are going up, and they're landing on bushes, and those bushes are going up, and everything's dry. And once it happens in a way where it's so spread out that there's nothing they can do. There's nothing they can do.
You just have to evacuate, right?
Nothing they can do.
I mean, and it's so true. There is nothing that you can do whenever that kind of starts happening, and just a terrible, terrible situation going on out there. This was from last night. Let me bring this up. Marcus Lemonis shared this. If you remember him, he had that show on CNBC, The Prophet. I love that show. It was great. He's a great businessman, and he just was sharing this, and what he says. I mean, we're not going to dive into politics. What we dive into on this show are trending topics, things that are at the top of the list this week, a lot of politics and stuff. But this is the governor of the state of California talking to the citizens. I mean,
what is the situation with the water? Obviously, in the Palisades ran out last night in the hydrants. I found the firefighter in this block. They left because there was no water in the hydrant here.
The local folks are trying to figure that out. I mean, just when you have a system that's not dissimilar to what we've seen in other extraordinarily large-scale fires, whether it be pipe, electricity, or whether it just be the complete overwhelm of the system. I mean, those hydrants are typical for 2 or 3 fires, maybe 1 fire. You have something at this scale, but again, that's going to be determined by the local.
What is the situation?
That's what he just keeps bringing it back. That's going to be determined by the local government, which, I mean, technically he may not be incorrect on that, but, you know, still, it's like, come on, bro. You had all of this time, and it's no one is to blame. Well, there may be someone to blame. We don't know. We don't know what the story is. We don't know what has actually happened that has caused this fire, what started it, but it is it's just a mess. It is a mess out there for sure. Yeah, isn't it? It's just local folks have to figure it out. What an awful thing to say. That is an awful thing to say. It's terrible. Like, hey, y'all just figure it out. You know, no worries, but unbelievable. Speaking of unbelievable, chalk this one up to things that I certainly didn't think that I would see today or maybe anytime. Look at these two just kicking it. If I was a fly on the wall, huh? I mean, I wonder what they were saying. I just wonder what they were saying. Look at them. I mean, they look chummy. They look kind of chummy here, if I'm being honest, which is insane based off of their history. Funerals do things, and kind of, you know, watching that and seeing that. I saw a lot of that whenever I was a kid, and I've talked about this sometimes on the show. It's not something that I talk about a whole lot, but I grew up in politics from a young age. My dad was elected to the Louisiana House of Representatives. And when I was a kid, I would go and just hang out. I loved watching the process. I loved being in the Capitol. I'd dress up. I'd watch them debate laws. I'd read the newspapers. I was engaged as you could be as a 10 or 11, 12-year-old kid. And one thing that I noticed real quick after hanging out there all day and seeing them, I mean, they would badmouth each other on the House floor. They would talk, you know, just trash, just like they do in Washington. And that happens everywhere. And one thing that I always found interesting is at the end of the day, not everybody, but a lot of them, they may be going back and forth, blah, 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 blah. they'd eat dinner together, laugh, have fun, like nothing ever happened. And that's what happens a lot in Washington and locally and all in politics. I don't think a lot of people understand that it's all a show. I mean, it was a show back then. I was always proud of the fact that my dad wasn't one of the showmen of that. He just got stuff done. He was just effective, an effective leader. It's what a lot of people called him. It's what he was. It's what he still is. And I never really understood why you would have to just showboat and do these things and all that. But that was before social media. That was before everything. Back then, everything was controlled by newspapers and television, and it was delayed. You could buy your story. You could this and that. You could alter it a little bit. That doesn't exist anymore at all. And it was with the age of social media, with the dawn and of cell phones and all of that. Those days are over with, and the game is played different. But it's almost like who can say the craziest thing, who can get the most attention. There's a cast of characters on both the Democrats, Republicans, and independents, everybody. Several of them, you all know the cast of characters. They're all good at getting to the front of the screen and getting seen. And I wish that this country could get away from that, and it could just be off of your merits, doing what the people want in your district, wherever you come from. That's what you're there to fight for. There are some of those guys in Washington locally. There are great, great people all across this country that are doing exactly that. I wish that would start to happen more and more and more, but we will see. We will see. Speaking of something a little bit more fun, that's it. Everything is fun and not serious. We had to just rip the Band-Aid off with some of the serious stuff here at the top of the show. Let's have a little fun. One of the fun things that I saw today that was trending a little bit on social media, Kim Mulkey this morning said this, and I find this hilarious.
The game. But yeah, I know she's any moment now, I was told, should have a baby. So I hope she has it right there in the middle of the game.
So she's talking about Kim Caldwell, the head coach of Tennessee, and she said that she's very pregnant, and you'll see in just a second, and supposed to have a baby any day. And she was hoping that maybe tonight when they played that would happen. And as you can see, though, it kind of riled up early this morning. A lot of heat, a lot of build up. It was all in fun, man. Here they are. Watch this nice exchange before the game. Again, wish I was a fly on the wall. I wish I knew what they were saying, but yes. Brought her a little baby gift, brought her a little baby present, and then gave them an L. That's what I'm talking about. You knew I had to bring that in. Good game, 89-87. The Tigers were victorious. They ain't won too many times up there, so that's a big win for them. Very, very happy for them. One thing I mentioned the other night, king cakes. Something that I don't think a lot of you guys out there know that we have a lot of folks that watch this that are in Louisiana, and they know what the heck a king cake is, but a lot of y'all didn't. So I found a good little video. There's a 4-part series to this, by the way, and you can follow this guy. He's on X at Robert St. John. Robert St. John is this guy's name, and check this out. It's a little 1-minute video of him talking about king cake. So you can see the variety here. And then pretty much I've had not all of these, but the one that he says is the best. I ain't gonna lie, man. It really is pretty much the best I've ever had too.
So I was told by the ladies at King Cake Hub that this Dragon Claw was the closest to a Dong Fong. That's good. I think it's Aya Bakehouse. Yeah, I'm getting full.
You think you can power through?
I'm like the little engine that could. I think I can. Gambino's. This is their cream cheese chocolate babka. They're pretty creative. Kaluta So cream cheese and praline here. I like that. Gambinos again, strawberry cream cheese. Nolita, so you can see cinnamon, just basic. Randazzo. This is one with strawberry, lemon, raspberry, and blueberry. I'm going in on the lemon. I tried all 32. It's all personal opinion. It's all subjective. I think the Dong Fong. Man, I was really kind of hoping it wasn't going to be Dong Fong because everybody says Dong Fong.
Why is it so good?
Whew. I don't think it's overly sweet. To me, it's the bread. If you don't nail the bread, I don't know, they should do it better.
He may never eat king cake again in his life, he says. And I'll tell you what, that's what a king cake is, Paul. If you've not ever seen one, that is what it is. They are delicious. And I don't have one here. One of the rules, big rule, if you're going to have a king cake, you better leave the dang knife in the box. So if you order one of these, the rule is you leave the knife there because you're going to need the knife to get you another slice because there's no way that you can stop yourself from eating it. What is going on, Fat Pig? Good to see you, my brother. I'm loving these new graphics that StreamYard has put out. It's fantastic. It blows y'all's picture up a little bit more. It looks better. Got to look into what I mean, the fine folks at StreamYard continuously improving our streaming environments. You got to love that. Something else that was fun on today, running around on the socials. I don't know if you guys saw this a while back, about a month ago or so, but Bryson DeChambeau he has a house, obviously super nice house. You can see that, but he set up this little tee box, and on the other side of that house is a green that he has set up. I mean, imagine hitting a golf ball at glass. That's ballsy, number one, pun intended. But you're going to keep doing that, keep shooting. And this guy apparently said he could do it, and they offered him $100,000. He could do it. I think he gave him a whole day. And watch this. I'm going to fast forward a little bit through these.
Oh, that's solid. That looks really good. It's in! No! It's in! What?
I'm so fired up.
It's in!
This is like Blasey making the cornhole, or Hal making the cornhole toss.
Oh, that's so sick. Let's go.
It took him five attempts. He made it on his fifth.
Dude, take it out. Oh my goodness. Hey, let's go. Are you kidding me?
Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. And he made $100,000. I mean, dang. You can't beat that. Can't beat that with a stick, as they say. This is something kind of fun. I think you're going to get a kick out of this if you hadn't seen it yet, Paul. But this is not the one. This is not the one. I'll do that. I'm going to do this one. We'll do it. We'll come back to the other one. I don't know if you saw this, Paul, but I mean,
you guys, Zach Top was born September 1997 in Sunnyside, Washington, USA. If you go back 9 months from his birthday to the winter of 1996, in November 1996, Alan Jackson played at the Tacoma Dome in Tacoma, Washington. Have you seen Zach Top's face, his mustache, his sound? Zach Top is Alan Jackson's son.
Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong, Internet. There's no way that is not Alan Jackson's son, no. But interesting. I mean, they do have such similar styles, the way that they play music, man. Love Zach Top for sure. This is what I was about to play on accident. Watch this. So I don't know if there you go, Paul. Hadn't seen it. Awesome. I don't know if y'all saw during College Game Day, what was that, during the first playoff game, Notre Dame, I believe it was the very first playoff game. They had Shane Gillis on as the guest picker and all that, and he definitely rubbed Saban the wrong way. Needless to say, well, this is the rest of the story of that. Found this kind of fascinating and funny.
That's why I spazzed and talked on Saban, because he was like, "What do you think about the game?" And I was like, "I don't know. Nick Saban cheated." It was just a full spaz.
It was so good, though.
I mean, I'd like to explain that because that was so. After I said that, we had to go into the stadium to sit at the desk. Then I got in there, and right before we go on, he looks at me and he's like, "I heard what you said," and I was like, "Holy shit." And then Herb Street and McAfee were like, "He's just breaking your balls, dude. He loves messing with guys. Like, he's literally just." And I was like, "Oh, all right. I'll with him back." I would have never done that if I thought he was serious.
Yeah.
But they told me he was around, so I started with him. And then as soon as we get done, I tell Herb Street and McAfee, I'm like, "Bro, he was definitely serious." And they were like, "No way he was serious. Go talk to him." So I went up to him after news like, "You think the SEC dominated because we cheated? That's bullshit." And he spazzed on me.
Weren't you helping him?
But then, so he was still on the stage and I was on the field. So after he yelled at me, I had to help him down. And he looked around to see if anybody else could help him, but I had to help him down.
Oh man, that is hilarious. That is hilarious. If you didn't see that original video, man, it's just, I love Shane Gillis. I don't know what you guys out there think about old Shane. I know some people don't like him. Obviously, Nick Saban doesn't like him for good reason, but I found it funny in one of these interviews, somebody brought that up, and I don't remember exactly what it was. Saban always with the good quotes. He was like, "Yeah, well, my daughter likes him," or "My daughter finds him funny," or something like that. Just classic Saban. You got to love it, man. Got to love it. Got to have a toss back or a throwback or a callback, I should say, to last night. We've a couple nights this week. We've talked about WWE Raw and all of that on Netflix. We got one more last video for this week that comes from our friends at the Bubba Army, Bubba the Love Sponge, and he explains exactly why Hogan was getting booed here.
Hulk Hogan's backstage reaction to getting booed at WWE's Netflix debut. Hulk Hogan was initially devastated by the crowd's negative reaction to his surprise appearance. The reason why he potentially may have gotten booed is because in a video made public by the National Enquirer, Hogan said, "I guess we're all a little racist," and used the N-word by referring to his daughter's love life and including him repeating the phrase, the effing N, a few different times.
Oh, a few times. Oh, wow.
The audio features him using a number of racist remarks and a rant about his daughter Brooke, who was trying to launch her music career at the time. Heather Clem, the wife of the friend, is reported to have said, blah. So it goes on and tells you what Hogan says, and it's all on my because of my tape.
Are you mad that they didn't say your name in the article?
No.
Don't they say?
No, they don't use my name at all.
That's good.
But here's the thing, man. Yes, it was on my tape. When they sent the first tape to Gawker, they go, "Oh, I heard there's a second one where he drops the N-word," and they knew that would even be more devastating to him. Jeez. And they did it. So anyway, they go on, and then they say that Hogan's supposedly storyline, if he comes back, was to make him a bad guy. There's already been discussion about the next time they put Hogan on TV is to make him a heel or a bad guy, because the last time that he was a bad guy, it worked wonders for his career. Well, that's if you have a career left.
Should he issue another apology for the N-word and for the stuff he's done in the past, or should he just let this blow over?
I think he blows it over. Hulk Hogan.
There you go. There you go. It always comes back to Bubba and that sex tape somehow or another, and Gawker and everything. But I mean, really and truly, what a wild deal. Hogan's tenure, his deal is done. Now that, maybe he comes back as a heel. I don't think the people want to see Hogan anymore, though. I think it's run its course. It was in the 80s, and damn, that was 40 years ago at this point, which is insane. He was at his height when I was a little boy. I'm no spring chicken, as they said in Landman last night, or in that video that I played. By the way, last night's show blocked worldwide on YouTube. I had to fix it. I had to take out. So got to be careful, I guess, with some of this stuff we share. Whatever. We're running and gunning. We'll figure it out as we go. But, got strikes from the WWE and Paramount for that. Just trying to help y'all spread the word to get other people to watch your show because I liked it. God forbid I do that. God forbid I do that. Well, that's it with the videos. Let's talk football. Let's start to wrap this up. We got a lot of games to cover. And, of course, the game going on right now. Don't know the score. We'll be going back to it. Hopefully it's still a good game. But tomorrow night, Ohio State versus Texas. And something funny that I heard today. I have no video from this or anything, but local sports talk radio show. Love listening to Charlie Hannegriff. He had Michael Cauble on there today. Mike did not look like he was really happy to be there, number one. I think they forget that there's a video on them sometimes. They're radio guys. Well, Michael's on. He's on TV. He's a sports reporter. Anyhow, they had this guest on, talking about the games and blah, blah, blah. Kind of like we've had Brian Edwards on. One of those guys like them, bettors, know the spreads, all that stuff, know sports in and out, can give you the reasons why you should bet on a game or you should bet against it or whatever. For some reason, this guy said that wind could play a factor in this one and the weather and all that. By the way, this game is played indoors where the Cowboys play. So I found that interesting. Anyhow, so what a dumbass. I obviously hadn't done his research. Hanny and boys, vet these people that are coming on. It'd be like having me come on to the sports show, which I'm about. This is going to be like my version of that. Do not bet what I'm about to tell you. Do not use any of this for sports knowledge. I am not going to dive into the X's and O's here and tell you why. It's all emo, baby. These are emo thoughts. This is who I think's going to win. So I think Penn State was going to win tonight. I don't remember what I said last night. I think I said Notre Dame, but I changed my mind as the day went on. So close. But once I heard that there was a flu outbreak with Notre Dame, that never bodes well. So we'll see. We'll see. Ohio State, Texas. Who do I want to win? No one. I don't want either team to win out of this. And I do not care about SEC loyalty at this point. I have thrown that out the window. Don't care. I don't consider Texas an SEC team yet. I will probably 20 years from now. I don't right now. But, hey, good job. You've got there. Ohio State's just been playing too good a ball throughout this playoff since they went down, since, okay, there it is, 10-10. Thanks, Don. Appreciate you, brother. Thanks for checking in. Terry Foster in the house. What is up, brother? What is up? Ever since Ohio State got beat by Michigan, they've really turned it on, and they've looked like the best team to me in the playoffs. In the first half, watching Notre Dame, Penn State, I think the winner of Ohio State and Texas is going to beat whoever wins in that game anyhow. So give me Ohio State. I think they are going to beat Texas, though it's kind of going to be a Texas home game. You've got to throw that into consideration a little bit. Ohio State travels. It's going to be interesting. That's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. Now, let's take a little quick rundown of the NFL playoffs. Chargers at Texans, and the Chargers are favored in that one. They're +3. I think that's going to be a good ball game. I'm going to take the Texans at home in that one. I'm just going to have to. I like home teams, especially this time of year, and especially in the playoffs. I always like a home team, so I'm going to take the Texans in that one. Chargers will probably win, but I'm going to take the Texans. Then you have Pittsburgh at Baltimore. Now, what we're getting into is what some of the bettors, some of the rumblings around the interwebs today have been. What's going to happen if you have the money line bet on Baltimore Buffalo, we'll talk about next. Philadelphia, we'll talk about after that. And Ohio State. Well, I can tell you that is plus 202, or it was as of this morning, if you took that. So you get 2-1 on your Bucks right there. Do you really think all 4 of them will win, though? I mean, you just got to feel it's football, and that's why we watch. Something crazy always seems to happen. But Pittsburgh at Baltimore, I don't think Pittsburgh has a chance. Baltimore is a 9.5 favorite in that game, though. So give me Baltimore all day. It's a lot of points. That's a lot of points, though. So, I mean, if you're betting the spread on that, all I know, give Derrick Henry the ball and let him eat. I mean, that dude is just an animal. And that offense is they're fun to watch. And they're good, and they've been good for a long time, and I think they're going to continue to be good for a long time. So give me Baltimore. Denver at Buffalo. Bye, Denver. I'm going to take Buffalo. Buffalo's 8.5-point favorite in that game. I haven't looked at the weather, but give me Buffalo all day at home. Have y'all seen the new stadium that they're building there? Incredible. Really nice that it's going to have coverings to where it's still an outdoor stadium, which I'm sure that's what they want there. If I lived in Buffalo, I'd be like, and you think we could have one of those dome? Like, give me a dome. It gets freaking hot or it gets freaking cold. I'm tired of this, and I want to be hot in a dome. Minnesota has a dome. Been there with Chad Foster. We won't talk about it. I'm not going to Randall's, and I'm not going to Memphis. So Green Bay versus Philadelphia. Philadelphia's 4.5-point favorite on that. Tough to beat Philly at home. Those people are crazy. I want Green Bay to win this game. I want Bubba's team to win the game. But I think Philly at home is just going to be too much. I'd actually take Philly and the points in that. That's me. Washington, the Commanders, the Redskins, whatever you want to call them, versus the Tampa Bay Bucks, who are 3-point favorites at home. We've discussed this. The NFC South sucks. I mean, and that's coming from a Saints fan. And, you know, I would love to say somebody ran through us and all that. Tampa Bay didn't. They didn't look that great. I like Baker Mayfield. I like what they're doing. But I also like what Jaden Daniels is doing. And obviously, I'm going to lean a little towards Jaden Daniels, who I think should be Rookie of the Year. I think that's obvious. He's my boy, of course, being from LSU. But they've had a good season. The Commanders are definitely up and coming, and nobody saw that before the season started. Give me the Commanders in Tampa Bay to pull off the upset. Minnesota versus the LA Rams. Now, just before we went live, I understand that game is being moved to Arizona. I don't think that's going to matter one bit as far as this game goes. It may affect the Rams more than anybody, in that the Rams were 1.5-point underdogs. Even though Sam Darnold looked like total crap last week, I still like them. I still like what they've done all year. I think they're going to bounce back. I'll take Minnesota. I'll take Justin Jefferson. I ain't betting against LSU boys. I ain't betting against Bama boys either. Just JR isn't in here. I'm not betting. I ain't gonna bet against LSU or Bama boys in the NFL. They run it. It's just true. It's just true. Well, that's all of the games, folks. We're coming here to the end of the show. I want to ask y'all, what do y'all think about these formats? Do you like this? Do you like these nightly lives that I've been doing, trying to keep them a little bit shorter? I'm having fun doing them. This has been a fun week. As long as I'm home or I have good internet wherever I'm at, then we're going to keep doing these. So I am having a blast doing them. And next week, some plans kind of started to lock in a little bit for Tiggy. 100% in on Barp. Hotel rooms booked. Ready to rock and roll. Miss Tiggs and I are going to go have us a nice, fun little trip. Roll into Tampa and roll into Clearwater. Roll into Clearwater. You'll hear that on the Bubba show, I do believe. JR continued to correct me. So we'll be heading to Clearwater. We're going to make stops along the way. We're going to make stops on the way back. So needless to say, next Thursday won't be live. Next Thursday through Monday, and Monday's Martin Luther King Day, we'll be traveling back. So already, week 1, we got 4 nights in. Week 2, it ain't going to be 4 nights, but so be it. Don, enjoyed it. Thanks for stopping by. My man, Terry Foster, appreciate you stopping by, too. You obviously got a new Facebook account, and I like that. You're always living on the edge, brother. I love it, and I'm glad that you enjoy the show. And until then, everybody, y'all stay warm. Enjoy watching some football. We'll see y'all.
It's Tigs tonight.